With 2 matches to go in the regular season, Louisville City tries to get a home match in the USL Championship playoffs, playing host to Hartford Athletic with Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Michael Watring. Great to have you on board here on this Saturday evening. We take a look at the Eastern Conference table. All eyes in the middle of the table for this one. Lou City trying to track down Memphis with 2 matches to go. And oh yeah, keep an eye on Indy 11. They're right on the heels of Lou City pending the results here tonight. But Lou City at home is starting to round into excellent form. They are unbeaten in their last 5 here at home and playing excellent soccer on this pitch. How do they come out with a positive result tonight?
I think it starts with the first 10 to 15 minutes here for Danny Cruz. You talk about the last time out against New Mexico, you lose, and he said it just wasn't good enough. It was disgraceful, quote unquote, what Danny Cruz says. So what's the reaction, especially at home at Lynn Family Stadium, hostile environment, first 10 to 15 minutes. If you can get an opening goal against this Hartford Athletic side, it's going to be a good day for Lou City here tonight.
Let's take a look at tonight's player profile presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. Wilson Harris, 1 goal shy of 50, would be the fastest player in league history to get there. He has 9 goals this season, critical for him to continue his goal-scoring form.
And it's all about the movement for Wilson Harris, the ability just to free from his individual marker into the attacking 18-yard box, whether it's popping in the hole, whether it's running in behind and stretching and running into the channels. What does the service look like into Wilson Harris and for Danny Cruz? Because when he's confident and he's clinical, it's going to be a long day for opposing back lines.
2 teams on very opposite ends of the spectrum. It's a Hartford side that's winless in its last 10. Coach Omid Namazi said that the key is to end the year on a high note.
And it's very interesting when you have a season that hasn't gone what you expected it to go. So now for Omid Namazi, for these players, they're playing for contracts, whether it's in a Hartford Athletic jersey or just around the USL Championship. And it's all about professionalism. How do you stay motivated? How do you stay compact? And you have to be very good defensively because 13 goals against is not good enough in their last couple games here for Hartford Athletic.
One of the bright spots for Hartford is Prince Sadie. He has 2 braces in his last 5 matches. He has 9 goals for the year.
And he's a player that can create on his own. He can bring players in, but very vertical in the way that he just wants to go at you and put defenders on their heels, can beat you 1v1. He hasn't had to be very good and confident combining with Lamo and Edwards. Prince Sadie, he's going to be the X factor for Hartford Athletic if they have any hopes of taking 3 points back home.
With 2 matches remaining, including the looming Eastern Conference final rematch against Tampa Bay, Lou City have their sights set on a home postseason match. It is Lou City and Hartford, starting 11s, the opening kickoff, and a surprise as well when we come back.
When the Thompsons first bought their house, all they saw was their dream home. They didn't yet know that with a home equity line of credit from Commonwealth Credit Union, it would be their keys to epic cannonballs and the chance to see the world. As years went by, it allowed them to empower the next generation and make happily ever after come true. Which begs the question, what could your home be doing for you? Let's find out together. Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Front loader odor. You know that smell when you open your funky front load washer? But at GE Appliances, we've engineered the first and only front load with an ultra-fresh vent system with odor block. Equipped with vents that help keep it dry and antimicrobial technology that protects against bacteria. Basically, funky to fresh, so you can
Shut the front door.
No one says that.
Another way we make good things for life.
No.
Lou City is debuting a new solid black kit. They're dubbing rather the regular season finale against Tampa as a blackout. And those great uniforms making their debut tonight as we take a look at the starting lineups presented by Breeze Airways. Nice, new, and nonstop. That's the Breeze way. What do you see from Lou City?
And it has to come down to that middle three. Gibson, he's going to stay right in front of that back four. McCabe, he's going to pick and choose when he joins attack, but also wants to double down. You're going to see Mares play centrally underneath Harris, Ownby, and Tellefson. Those players have to be very good and very confident. You know about Jimenez and Perez picking and choosing when they join the attack, but also Tosh and Sharpie compacting, keeping everything in front of them.
Hartford on the other side has lost its last 6 road ventures, and here's how they line up for this contest.
And for Omid Namazi, they've shown different looks, whether it's a 3-back, whether it's a 5-back, whether it's a 4-back. Barrera, he's going to be the one pulling the strings. You want him on the ball early, and often Elvis Samo, he's going to stay high. He's going to occupy the 2 center backs. Prince Sadie and Edwards, they're going to be the ones playing vertical and stretching the shape of Lou City here today.
So it is Hartford and Lou City for the 7th time. First matchup this season, these two sides played to a 0-0 draw on June 3rd. Black kits for Lou City. It's the white and the greens for Hartford. Michael Watring, Ricky Lopez-Espin, our entire broadcast crew, inviting you to come in and stay a while with us here on a Saturday evening, the penultimate weekend of the USL Championship. And Lou City, after their performance last week against New Mexico, where they lost 2-0 at Isotopes Park to New Mexico, we are underway here on a Saturday evening at Lynn Family Stadium. Lou City and Hartford. Well, you mentioned that Danny Cruz said that it was disgraceful, the performance against New Mexico. Here's a bending ball all the way through, chested down, early opportunity. Rice comes up with a save after Maris took aim. Well, this is the start very much that Lou City needed. Danny Cruz said that the week of training was the best that they've had yet.
He had the ability to talk with Danny Cruz as well, and he said, look, if we can get that opening goal, Hartford Athletic, they're going to start to stretch out. What a brilliant opportunity, not even a minute in, with the movement of Manny Perez. Attack-minded outside back. Great ball into Dylan Mares on the back end. Even better save from Rice.
Crossing ball over there, plenty of space, drop back and fired in, but the flag up for offside. McCabe was latching onto it.
And it's the second time in 2 minutes we've seen changing the point of attack. You create an overload on the wide parts of the field. This time it's Tellefson gets in beyond Kibato. Cutback ball for now McCabe. Just so unlucky, gets called offside. You see Danny Cruz looking down at the iPad, making sure the right call is made. But good start here for Lou City.
Hartford has given up more than 2 goals per match on average this year, 73 of them in total. By far the most allowed in the league this year. There will be chances for Lou City. Can they capitalize? Lou City started the year so defensive minded. They're so good at preventing teams from scoring, but struggled so often in scoring. The roles have reversed a little bit. Just 1 clean sheet in the last 9, and they've started to find some goal scoring ability. If you're Hartford, where do your opportunities come from? Much more of a first half goal scoring team. All but 13 of the team's goals this year have come in the opening half. Hartford eliminated. Lou City tied for 4th with Memphis, but trail in the tiebreaker scenario. And Hartford struggling to get out of their own end now. Akingila. Rice hefty on the touch, under all sorts of pressure, and a foul is whistled. Tonight's weather report is brought to you by Advanced ENT and Allergy. 59 degrees, a little bit of wind, but a classic fall afternoon here in Kentucky.
Already you see Omid Namazi, who's barking at his boys to understand when to play in between lines, but also when to just relieve the pressure that they've been under. Have to be very decisive because you don't want to play into the hands of Lou City, who came out the gate pressing high and tried to force turnovers higher up the field.
Namazi said that the goal, simple, in the final 2 matches of the year, is to win. Try to end this season with a good feeling. Last game of the season at home against FC Tulsa is already a sellout. Ownby gets the deflection. Rice backpedaling though, and it takes the right spin for him to grab it. Commonwealth Credit Union has been bettering lives in the communities they serve since 1951. To learn more, visit WeSeeYouDifferently.com.
It's the second time here that Pablo Torres has had a very heavy first touch. Yes, if you can break this initial pressure of Lou City, then you have the ability just to pick up your head, play balls in behind the back line for Elvis Amo, Prince Sadie, and Edwards to run onto it. But how clean can your first touch be for Hartford Athletic between the lines?
McCabe fires this one through. Check that, McCabe ends up with a finish, and then Ownby skies it over everything. It was Tellefson that started the whole moment, and then Ownby is down.
Just seems so confident, but look how clever Dylan Maris is to not move and just shields off Lappert here on the back end to let this ball bounce into Brian Ownby, just an awkward height. You have to let the ball come down, especially with the traffic come onto you. Give credit to McGlynn, closes down the angle, just does just enough to throw off Brian Ownby.
Lou City hasn't lost at home since July 22nd. That was 78 days ago. Looking to put the finishing touches on their home schedule, not just with this match, but Tampa Bay next week. And this is really one of those classic trap matches against the team that has been at the bottom of the table all year long. You have Tampa Bay, a team that you needed added time to beat last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know how big of a match that is. Perhaps Tampa could be playing for an Eastern Conference regular season title as well. And Lou City, after that performance against New Mexico, could have been the wake-up call if they needed. Hartford working out of the back. City content with allowing them to have some possession. Lewis. Ultimately, Ownby had it for a moment, but Lappert won it cleanly. McCabe gives it away. Here's Barrera. Overlapping run from Kibato. Into the 18, Sadie the target. And it goes out wide for a goal kick. There's Elvis Amo, 5 goals this season. There has been some positivity with this attack for Hartford, and that's something that Lou City has to keep an eye on, because Hartford has the ability to break teams down with their speed up top, and then they have the cleverness in the midfield with Barrera, who's one of the all-time leading assist tally players in this league.
I mean, you look at the Hartford Athletic, the talent on the roster, there's no question about it, but how effective can they be to execute in that final third? That's when it's been lacking. Yes, you look at 37 goals scored in the season, but 73 conceded defensively. It's not good enough, and you're letting the ball just leak into the back of your net. You're going to have a very difficult time finding points, especially at home or on the road, no matter who's on that front line. I do think we had the chat to talk with Omid Namazi, and I asked him about Danny Barrera, and he said, look, for the first part of the season, was pushed to the side, was not able to get into the game fitness, but as I took over the helm, I gave him the captaincy back. I understood that he knew what it took to be a captain for Hartford Athletic, was here and very professional in training on the game field. And also, how do you get him to game sharpness and game fitness? You get him on the ball, how creative he is, like you mentioned, Michael. assists that he can create with the players on the front line, Edwards, Amo, and Prince Sadie, the ability good just to be vertical. It can be a very scary attacking unit for Hartford Athletic. So it's not an easy challenge for Lou City here defensively.
And here come the boys in purple with a shot. It hits the left post and gets cleared away. Rice didn't get a sturdy paw to it, and it somehow stays out.
And already we've seen the two outside backs for Lou City. Oscar Jimenez, no one steps up. Don't mind if I do. So technically sound, right foot, left foot, no problem whatsoever. Head down, laces through the ball, just skips off the turf. Just so unlucky. Doesn't find the back of the net. Joe Rice does just enough to punch it out to his best friend, the post.
And it's a corner kick coming for Louisville. Traded wins and losses over their last 6. So if form holds, this would be a win tonight. Trying to enter the postseason strong. They've clinched a postseason berth. And now Oscar Jimenez ready to curl in this corner in the 10th minute. It's a left-footed ball, bending into the middle of the box. Ownby the second ball. Fires it back, Maris low. Shoveled away through the middle of the field. Ownby on the second chance. And another corner for Lou City, this time from the left sideline. Hartford this season has given up the first goal of a match 19 times in 29 matches. Very much the problem for this Hartford group. And under a great deal of pressure here in this one. McCabe readies. Just around a month of the season as he strikes this into the 18, and Rice this time grabs it, falls to the ground. A game that everybody's keeping an eye on. Had an electric start. Pittsburgh, Albert Dikwa in the lead for the Golden Boot race, scores 29 seconds in against Tampa. And it's 1-0 in Florida. Charleston and Miami 1 apiece. Detroit and Loudoun. And it is Detroit leading at 2-0. Playoff implications all over the place in the USL Championship with 2 matches to go. Memphis will take on El Paso at 8. That's the game that Lou City fans will be watching when they leave the park tonight. Already 5 shots to 1 in favor of Lou City. Close, haven't scored yet. Foul whistled.
You already see how Lou City is setting up in their attacking press. Dylan Mayer saying like for like with Pablo Torres, following him all over the field. And that's something that Danny Cruz has definitely talked about in his team talk. He is going to be the one pulling the string. So we have to negate balls into Pablo Torres. So something you see just passing players off and trying to be compact between lines here for the home side.
Sometimes the toughest matches for an athlete as well when you go into it and you know the records, you know that you're supposed to win this one, and maybe you play freely for the early portion of the match, but the longer that this thing goes tied, the pressure amplifies for Lou City.
It's so interesting for these Lou City players because you talked about it, Michael. Yes, you look at the table, Hartford Athletic eliminated, probably not playing for much besides contract, but that could also be a scary thing, right? You have teams that are just going in, playing freely, and you, on the other hand, need to have a reaction. And I do think for Danny Cruz, the message was clear as day after that New Mexico result away from home. So you're playing at home now. You can get that opening goal. It's going to be massive for your confidence, and also just going to open up this Hartford Athletic back line.
And also as a player, when you're going through the middle of the season and you're at the bottom of the table, it's tough getting up every single day. Now you know that you're about 10 days away from having a sustained break. So your energy is right back there, much like you talked about, the desire to play for a contract, not just potentially with Hartford, but other teams around the league. These are the games on tape that you want to be able to showcase that you're playing your best at the right time of the year.
on set pieces. If you're not creating any clear-cut goal opportunities through the run of play, are a brilliant way to get that opening goal, especially when you have Danny Barrera over the ball. Look for him to whip in a quality service and cause chaos in front of Semla and this Lou City back line.
Andre Lewis and Danny Barrera. Now it's just Lewis, the veteran. Wants it back, finds space, changes the direction, throws it in. It's loose. There were two chances there from Hartford. Lappert was the first man in. And Semla, not all that convincing on that opportunity, but it didn't hit anybody and goes out.
Nervy moments between the sticks for Semla. If you come off your line, you need to be extremely sure and decisive that you're going to make any sort of play on this ball. Fortunate enough for Lou City, no one for Hartford Athletic is at the back post just to tap it in.
Here's Barrera, third all-time in assists in the league's history. Flies it wide. Torres. Sadie measuring. Sadie blasting it to the moon. Fans, when Lou City wins, you win. This season, Lou City has partnered with Wendy's to give you a free small Frosty if the boys in purple win. No purchase necessary. The offer is valid the following day after a win. Head to any participating Louisville area Wendy's location to redeem. Dangerous maneuver there by Tosh. Amo was providing the pressure. It is a goal kick, and Lou City will get back into the act here. Sides jockeying for positioning on both sides of the ledger. Two positions still open in the Eastern Conference with this week and next week to go. Foul whistled, not much in it. Makangila, formerly of Colorado Springs. We're past the quarter-hour mark. No score between Lou City and Hartford. Michael Watchring, Ricky Lopez-Espin, our broadcast crew, enjoying this one with you on a Saturday evening here in Kentucky. Lou City tied for fourth in the Eastern Conference standings, but losing the tiebreaker scenario to Memphis means that they would be on the road at this point. A lot to play for Lou City, trying to get into the postseason on a high note and get a home match. Barrera flies it wide. Kibato through the middle, intercepted by Perez. Tellefson alleviates the pressure. Been a while since Lou City has been in the attacking third.
Having a very difficult time just trying to find that middle three of Maris, Gibson, and McCabe. When Manny Perez, Oscar Jimenez, Sharp, and Tosh pick up their head. No angles, no support whatsoever, so you have to bypass that and play straight into Wilton Harris. That's not his game by trait. He likes to run off players, get the ball to feet, not a target number 9. So how quickly can you play between lines to draw out this Hartford Athletic side? Needs to be a bit better here for Lou City.
There's an interception. And now black jerseys can flood the box. Ownby flies it wide left. Ownby. It's now Tosh. Perez on the give and go. Handled well defensively, that time by Kibato. He continues his run. Hartford countering. Kibato. Here's Torres. And now Sadie wide right. From defense into the attack quickly. Makangila. Semla comes all the way out. And again, back line not necessarily holding up their end of the bargain there as that ball goes out. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. A couple dots in there.
Slashes as well. And a tongue twister.
Knuckling ball to nobody in particular. Now some of that frustration is setting in with this Lou City group.
Just see the lack of creativeness, the lack of solutions, and the lack of movement as a result of it on the front line. The way that Hartford Athletic is setting up a 4-3-3 defensively, so you're looking for spacing between that middle three. But too many times, players are behind the opposing players. Dylan Maris needs to pop into the hole. Tellefson needs to find those half spaces between lines. None of that is happening, so that's why you start to see Lou City just playing direct. Something that we're not accustomed to see from this home side here.
Hartford have had only one road shutout in their first 14 road matches of the year. That was against Las Vegas on July 22nd. 2-0 was that win. That's the last time that they won on the road as well. Rice pings it over for Makangila.
I do think for Lou City, if you can force a turnover, and your first pass needs to be forward to break this line for Hartford Athletic, because when they get on the ball, you see the possession there, 53% for the visitors. Very unexpected. The way that Omid Namazi likes to play, he likes to play attacking football, likes to overexpand, and makes the field extremely wide. So on the back end of that, sloppy turnover, they leave themselves vulnerable. First look needs to be forward for Lou City if you force a turnover.
Every team hopes to be playing their best action at the end of the season. With a lot to play for. 2 wins might not be enough at the end of it all, but 2 wins can go a long way in building confidence for the postseason to end the year. Here's an interception. Amo. And that ball just right up on him. And his pass behind. Looked like a promising moment for Hartford, but the Athletic unable to do anything with it. Excellent ball. Ownby waits. Ownby didn't get a lot to it. And Hartford is able to send it out of the 18. When you're eyeing the bottom of the Eastern Conference playoff table, how about Miami? They have scored the go-ahead goal. Salazar in the 80th minute have put themselves back into the final playoff position in number 8 in the Eastern Conference. Barrera gets the second ball. Barrera! He measured, but didn't hit it all that well, and Semla didn't have much to do at the end.
On the back end, you see Gibson just telling the boys to calm down. If you're Sharpie, that's a big no-no to head the ball centrally because no one is there. Danny Barrera picks up that second ball straight at Oliver Semla. But it's defending one-on-one between Shantosh and Wes Sharpie as one rises up for that initial challenge. The other one needs to provide that coverage. Never whatsoever you head the ball back into a central area. Little mistakes like that for Lou City need to clean up, and that's going to leave Danny Cruz extremely frustrated.
Lou City did make 4 changes in their starting 11. Danny Cruz talked about how it's really an open competition for those positions at this point. Thinks that it's a mentality perspective more than anything else. That pressure forces Rice to send it to the bleachers.
The one thing I do think he'll be proud about is the pressure on the front line, making that man's life extremely difficult to find any sort of solution.
We'll send it backwards. Late on the tackle. And it leads to a long ball looking for Sadie. Unable to make that move, but does win the throw. Wes Sharpie stepping over, the 30-year-old. If Pittsburgh does beat Tampa tonight, the path to the USL Cup in the East would go through Highmark Stadium. Tellefson sends it away. Harris gets a running start. Ownby sprinting. That is a well-weighted pass. Ownby takes a tumble. Makingila thought there was nothing there, but he is going to be booked with a yellow.
Have a very good relationship between these two players, Wilson Harris and Brian Ownby. As Wilson Harris comes to feet, Brian Ownby understands the real estate is in beyond. Not too much there, but there is definitely contact. Makingila clips the heels of Brian Ownby as he gets advanced in front of him. Now in a yellow card, 26 minutes in. Not what you want if you're Omid Namazi.
Yellow cards presented by World of Beer. It's been about 15 minutes since Lou City last had a shot attempt. And here comes a third free kick. Here's this ball going in. It's flicked on by Tosh. Loose. Who comes to it? Maris. Have it hit off of the block and sent away. Now back on the sprint, and an excellent tackle from Ownby. He's asking Kyle Edwards to get up, and that was a clean tackle. What? Things starting to get a little bit physical as well as wide open now. Tellefson. Perez. Maris. Tellefson back for Perez. Perez all the way through. It's headed out of trouble for the time being. Sadie holding it up. Hartford just trying to clean the area up. Tosh goes all the way back to it and sends it back to his keeper, Oliver Semla. Perez once again in space. Tellefson, plenty of real estate to choose from. Tellefson elects to pass. Jimenez strikes. Rice made that one look easier than it was.
And if you're Tellefson there, you have so much time and space. You need to pick out a black jersey. You just whip this ball into a dangerous area and just hope. But Oscar Jimenez, I think he's been very good on that far side for Lou City. The ability just to strike the ball at a high quality with right foot and left foot straight at Joe Rice. You just talk about the way and the demand that Danny Cruz wants his outside backs to play on both sides of the ball at a very high level. And they've been probably the brightest spot for this home side here, about 28 minutes in.
Is their first half goal in the offing here for Lou City. Ownby again. The flag, though, does go up for offside. Welcome to the fans watching this game on WBKI, the official broadcast home for Louisville City FC. 30th minute of play. Louisville City and Hartford playing for the 7th time. With Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Michael Watrang, our entire crew. Grateful to have you on board here this evening. Lou City looking to keep their sights set on a home playoff match. Level with Memphis right now for the number 4 seed in the East, but does not have the tiebreaker against Memphis. These two teams squared off on this pitch last year, and it was Cameron Lancaster scoring the game winner in the 4th minute of second half stoppage time in a 2-1 result. Hartford have done enough defensively. Gibson does well. Perez continues. Perez fires it through. Harris was the target. It looked good at the end, just missing that final touch.
It's really good movement ahead of the ball as Wilson Harris peels off to the back post. Who's going to slash across that near post? It's Dylan Mayers on the back end of it. This ball with Manny Perez is whipped in with so much pace. Wilson Harris doesn't have the ability just to get his shoulder square towards goal. But good movement once again for Lou City. And it all comes from forcing turnovers and getting numbers in around your own 18-yard box.
These first 30 minutes have been indicative of what Lou City has done for much of this year. Great chances at time, but unable to be able to finish. Although that cannot be said over the last 13 matches. They've scored multiple goals in 7 of the last 13. They've only been shut out twice, but that includes the 2-0 loss at New Mexico last week. Tellefson stumbling. After Hartford had that little bit of a moment in control. Lou City back on it. Tellefson through. And Makangila cleans it up. Was asking for the flag to go up. Instead, it is another corner coming up here for Lou City. It'll be their 3rd, and all Lou City corners presented by 5-5.
I don't think it's any coincidence that you get now McCabe on the ball just a tiny bit more. And then you have the off-ball movement, especially from a wide area. As Tellefson picks his head up once again, needs to find a black jersey because Brian Omby makes a run, just pulls himself back. You have the ability to cut this ball back. It's 1-0 Lou City. Yet again, in a very dangerous set piece.
And Menez decides to go backwards. McCabe changing the angle. Hartford handles this one once more. Perez. It is final from Charleston. Miami takes it 2-1. Bouncing ball into the 18. Rice cleans it up. So that means that Charleston sit firmly in 3rd. And pending that Memphis result, could seal up that 3rd position tonight regardless of that result against Miami, while Miami FC has moved into 8th, 1 point clear of Detroit, who leads Loudoun 3-0. There's your table right now. Birmingham will host Monterey Bay tomorrow. And Indy 11 is at FC Tulsa coming up in just about 30 minutes.
Just so tight on the back end of this season, exactly what you want. And it's probably a 3-team race. Miami FC, Detroit City, and FC Tulsa vying for that last and final playoff spot in the East. We talk about how tight it's been to go through the years. I don't think it's ever been this tight going down to the last day of the regular season.
Perez comfortable defensively, drawing the foul on Kibato, the 23-year-old Canadian. Stops at RGV and FC Tulsa the last 3 years. Just about ready to get underway. Memphis and El Paso. Danny Cruz very frustrated. Let everybody know the performance last week against New Mexico, not there. From start to finish, just did not enjoy how his team handled themselves. 9 shots to 3, the lead in this match. but it is a results-driven business. Who is the player for Lou City that is going to find the breakthrough against a Hartford team that's given up nearly 2.5 goals per match? Or will it be Hartford punctuating a season that has been very much one that they would like to forget? Semla skies this. Handled on that initial ball. Funneled well, but offside along this side. And Rice calmly collects.
It's a really good ball from Niall McCabe. I do think Manny Perez thinks he's offside initially. And as he does not get the ball in the first run, doesn't have the ability to recycle his run. So Niall McCabe puts in a perfect ball, breaking the line. That left back and left center back of Hartford Athletic. I think if he gets on the ball a bit more, he can really pull the string for Lou City. 36 minutes in, Wilson Harris extremely quiet. 9 goals, 2 assists on the season. We need a player that needs to stand up and make that difference. You look at him, you look at your number 9. Hasn't had nearly enough touches as if you would like if you're Danny Cruz.
Is that more on Wilson Harris not demanding the ball or the rest of the team?
I think it's a very difficult time to trying to get in a rhythm, any sort of rhythm. This Hartford, or this Lou City side, excuse me. Hard challenge there.
Dylan Maris will go in the books.
As this ball runs through, just gets caught in the turf. You just see clear as day catches. Edwards on the follow through there. The right ankle. Sees yellow card, Dylan Maris in the 37th minute. No argument whatsoever.
World of Beer presenting our cards tonight, both yellow and reds. Second yellow of the night. Beverly Makangila of Hartford got one in the 25th minute. And an injury still pauses play here. Danny Cruz talked about what made this week of training one of the best. He said the intensity in the small moments, the attention to detail, the collective attitude from the first moment of training to the end. He said that if we showed this kind of energy in New Mexico, the result would have been different. But he thinks that everything right now with this group has to do with demeanor and heart. And that really challenges this team.
I think you can make the argument for every single team in the USL Championship, because 32 games in, every single player on every single roster should know their role by now. You start day 1 of preseason, 2 games remaining in the regular season, so now it comes down to who can execute, who can manage moments, and who can play their role to a higher level, and who has the right mindset. Do or die, obviously the pressure's on. And if you're Lou City, you know what it means to wear that jersey. You know the standards that are set not only by Danny Cruz, but the history that Lou City has had in the USL Championship. It's going to be very interesting for the remainder of this game, but also as you play Tampa on the 14th.
Still Pittsburgh 1, Tampa 0. That match into the 38th minute. That ball fired in. There's space there, and it's headed high. Kyle Edwards found some room. There was a gaping hole on the back end of the defense, and he just went high.
We talk about managing moments, the inability to win that initial battle, and then it's just everyone getting caught ball watching on the back post. And once again, Lou City can have a sigh of relief, because Edwards should be putting the ball in the back of the net from that distance there with the quality that he has.
7 goals this season. He's also scored in the CONCACAF Nations League for the St. Vincent and Grenadines.
Set pieces are extremely important as they try to change your point of attack and change the angle. You don't deal well enough if you're Oscar Mendes on that near ball, but look at everyone just watching the ball. Everyone turns their back to Elvis Amo and Edwards on that back post. But if you're Elvis Amo, you have to be barking at Edwards to let this ball run through. You have the better body position. Opportunity that goes begging here for Hartford Athletic.
Five minutes to go, plus any stoppage time before the half. Ownby charging forward. Slides it through, but intercepted. And Hartford takes the ball right back. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN+, the home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Edwards, this time from outside of the 18, bends one towards Semla that gathers.
You start to see Hartford Athletics starting to grow just a tiny bit more into this game, especially with Edwards, with Prince Sadie, Danny Barrera getting on the ball a little bit more, Elvis Amo playing center and occupying the center backs. We let this thing hang around. It's going to be very tricky in the second half for Lou City here.
We have 21 of the team's 37 goals between those top three, Edwards, Sadie, and Amo. As much as maybe goal scoring at times this year has been a frustration for Hartford, it's the defense that has always been the problem. But if they perform like they are right now, they have the goal scoring punch that can spoil the penultimate match of the season for Lou City. Kibato. Torres. Ownby's pressure forces the giveaway.
You just see Hartford Athletics staying man for man defensively in that midfield block, forcing turnovers.
And Sadie was the one that took it away. Sharpie with the ill-advised pass, and it goes out for a corner.
So your first look is into whether it is a Gibson or McCabe or Dylan Mares that are dropping mid. But if they're marked, you have to bypass them and playing to the feet of Wilson Harris, Tellefson, and Brian Ownby. You don't want to force the ball into a traffic area and give the ball away cheap, because you know how good and how explosive this Hartford Athletic side can be in traditional moments, but also in set pieces with the physical presence of Elvis Amo and the big boys in the back.
Danny Barrera's service, always something to keep an eye on. 51 career assists. Only Canardo Forbes and Solomon Asante have more in the history of the league. But he gives way. Trying to do something from the training ground. McGlynn was the initial recipient. Here he is back on it. Harris. Ownby had a piece of it for a moment, but Juan Pablo Torres patient enough to get there. Well, if you're Hartford, if you can see this one all the way out to 0-0 at the half, you have to feel really good about your final four halves of the season, trying to end the year on a high note. Meanwhile, Lou City will be frustrated with this performance so far. 9 shots, no goals. Quickly taken. Harris galloping, clipping it through the middle. Just missed the initial target. Second ball, Tellefson cuts it back. McCabe, rather than shoot, tried to pass.
He's just caught between two minds there, Niall McCabe. As his ball sets up kindly for him, Tellefson makes the right decision. Composed, picks his head up and just rolls this into the path of Niall McCabe. It needs to be first time. You hit it low and hard to that near post. As you get indecisive, you have a halfway ball into that traffic area. Hartford Athletic wins the initial challenge. Those little moments like that for Danny Cruz need to be a bit more ruthless in the attacking 18-yard box.
Andre Lewis taken out. Lewis takes the free kick quickly. Barrera sends it wide left. Kibato will get a second chance at this one. Not before Barrera fires it through. There's space there. Sadie has the shot blocked.
Once again, Michael, just very shaky in the back for Lou City. Slow in rotation as this ball goes over West Sharpie. Oscar Jimenez is late and stepping to Prince Sadie, but does well to recover in that last-ditch defending effort. Ball's being pumped into the box. Hasn't been the best performance for the home side here.
Hartford have been able to unleash 5 shots now in the first half. Perez. 2 minutes of stoppage time here in this first half, presented by Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. McCabe fires it in. That ball not cleared all that well. Lewis falls down. Ownby. This hits it, and Torres clears. Midway through stoppage time. How do you explain what we've seen from these two sides so far?
I think if you're Omid Namazi and Hartford Athletic, you're probably the happier of the two managers for sure. Not an easy task coming into Lynn Family Stadium against this Lou City side who's trying to get that home playoff game. The game plan you've executed to perfection. Compact defensively, winning those second balls, winning that midfield battle, and frustrating Lou City. And not allowing them to try to play out of the back. Moments like that, Brian Ownby getting on a yellow card and due to frustration. As Lappert just beats him to this 50-50 ball. It's not X and O's, that's just that extra effort that Danny Cruz has been talking about, the mentality. Sloppy touch from Brian Ownby, tries to recover and just swings and catches all of Lappert on the back end. It's been big frustrating for Lou City, unable to get in any sort of rhythm on both sides of the ball. We've seen mental lapses defensively. Haven't seen it as clean as you would like in the attacking 18-yard box. So I do think if you're Danny Cruz, this halftime talk is going to be very interesting, and it needs to be an effective one.
A yellow card presented by World of Beer. Brian Ownby in the books in the 2nd minute of added time. And now Hartford could steal one at the end of the first half.
Remember moments ago, Hartford almost had a brilliant opportunity, changing the angle, and then you have the back post run.
This time again, they go short. It gets intercepted. And this will not result in a shot attempt. Will there be enough time for Lou City to break? Ownby. Excellent pass. Harris fends off a defender. Harris! I think Rice got a right foot to it. And that's the final touch of the first half. You asked Wilson Harris to be aggressive, and he nearly capitalized at the end of the first.
Fantastic transition moment to end out this first half from Lou City. The understanding between Brian Ownby and Wilson Harris, and you need more runs from Wilson Harris from your number 9 just to test the shape of Hartford Athletic. But what a massive save that was from Joe Rice to keep this thing 0-0 going into the break. But if you're Lou City, need to get on the ball a bit more, need to be more confident. Really interesting next 45 coming up.
It is halftime, presented by Breeze Airways. Nice, new, and nonstop. That's the Breeze way. No score so far. Lou City and Hartford playing to a scoreless draw at the half. More to come when we come back at halftime.
Saving up for your goals should be effortless. That's why Commonwealth Credit Union invented Roundup. Roundup automatically puts money into your savings account by rounding up every purchase to the nearest dollar. So your morning brew? Savings. Dinner with friends? How about a side of savings? Mobile purchase? Mobile savings. In fact, last year our members saved $5.5 million just through Roundup. We'll even match your savings for the first 90 days. It's time to make your savings effortless with Roundup. Only from Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
This is Aaron. Aaron is responsible for prepping the stadium for Lou City game day. The grass is mowed, lines are painted, and the field is watered. Yeah, his team puts in a lot of work, transforming this into this. But weather can get in the way. So to ensure the crowd will be safe, they call Mark at WDRB for the official green light to play. Making the right call and keeping everyone safe. WDRB Weather, the source.
WDRB Plus delivers more WDRB, where you want it, when you want it. Like replaying the breaking news alert because your boss is always calling and interrupting your me time. Download WDRB Plus on your TV today.
At Kroger, the proven quality of Kroger brand products will make you feel like you're winning. And at lower than low prices, you'll save at checkout too. Kroger brand products, guaranteed you'll love the taste, or we'll give you your money back. Now that's winning. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
We're at halftime, presented by Breeze Airways. Nice, new, and nonstop. That's the Breeze way. Lou City and Hartford scoreless at the break. Tonight, Lou City unveiled the new kits. Solid black. Let's take a closer look.
It's that time of year again. As the days get shorter, we work to make the season longer. There's a target on our back, so why not embrace it? With some new threads, we're primed to shine. Under the bright lights,
I've been the one, see, they've been a two. Yeah, if you been with me, I bet that you lose. Yeah, and when I win, they gon' lose it. Yeah. Cause I've been the one, yeah, I've been the one. Yeah, winner, winner, winner. Yeah, winner, winner, winner. Winner, winner.
New City fans, welcome to October. Welcome to our chase for a championship.
Lou City will wear those uniforms next week when Tampa comes to town in the 2022 Eastern Conference Final. It was a 1-0 differential. Elijah Winder scoring in the 108th minute. And the teams that have faced off in 3 straight Eastern Conference Finals will wrap up the regular season next week at 7:30 at Lynn Family Stadium. Meanwhile, for Hartford, they will get a home match against FC Tulsa. Plenty of buzz about that in Hartford. It is a sellout, some great deals as well for the Hartford fans, and they will try to punctuate their season against FC Tulsa and do what Amit Amazi said, and that is end the year on a high note. In this match, there is no score so far. We've seen 16 shots, 5 on frame. Neither side has scored so far in this match, but the USL Championship playoffs are here. Catch all the action on ESPN Plus beginning October 20th with select matches on Sirius XM-FC Channel 157. The season concludes with the USL Championship Final November 12th on ESPN2.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Halftime between Louisville City and Hartford Athletic. Neither side has scored so far. And it's time to take a look around what is going on in the USL with our news and notes. Albert Dikwa leading the USL Championship, 20 goals, and now 21 as he scored in the first 30 seconds against Tampa, still leading it 1-0. Davion Kimbrough, the youngest American soccer player to make his pro debut, just shy of his 14th birthday and 7 days until the end of the regular season. We mentioned that the playoffs start on October 20th, and ESPN2 will house the championship final on November 12th. Upcoming USL schedule in the championship. Plenty of good games to keep an eye on, particularly in the Eastern Conference. When you look at tomorrow, Birmingham and Monterey Bay trying to keep their hopes alive. They will go to Charleston to wrap up the year, and everything puts the finishing touches with Lou City and Tampa Bay. Scores currently around the USL Championship. Miami gets the late goal from Salazar to upend Charleston and get back within a playoff position. Detroit has taken down Loudoun 3-0. Pittsburgh, as I mentioned, with the advantage on Tampa Bay. And it is a 1-0 edge for RGV on top of Sacramento, thanks to Lopez's goal in the 10th minute. 28th minute between Memphis and El Paso. There's no score in that one. When we come back, we'll take a look at the first half highlights, stats, and then kick off the second half. Lou City and Hartford for the 7th time. Second half action comes up next.
Did you know taking care of your teeth and gums helps control blood sugar levels? A healthy smile means a healthier you. We can help you get there. Mortensen Family Dental. Schedule online at mortensondental.com. Did you know taking care of your teeth and gums helps lower your risk of heart attack? A healthy smile means a healthier you. We can help you get there. Mortensen Family Dental. Schedule online at mortensondental.com.
Well, they say the grass is greener there, but ours is dreamy blue. And there's no place I would rather be than Kentucky with you.
Halftime here at Lynn Family Stadium, Louisville City and Hartford scoreless at the break. Michael Watring, Ricky Lopez-Espin getting ready to watch the first half highlights with you in this match, and it has not been short on goal-scoring chances between either of these sides. The question has been, where would those goals come from? It's the debut of the solid black kits for Lou City, and right out of the gates, they came out firing on the attack.
And when you play for Danny Cruz, as the outside back position, you have the license to join the attack and that final third as you see fit, but you have to be clinical, you have to be decisive, and you have to find the back of net, and that has not been the case for Lou City, but it's all about Oscar Jimenez and Manny Perez. They're providing the width, but they're creating overloads. But again, you have to be managing moments, and Lou City has not done that. Very dangerous Hartford Athletic from set pieces, but watch all the black jerseys as they retreat. No one man marks at that back post, and if you're a Mo, you're barking at Edwards to get out of the way, and that ball needs to find the back of the net. And this is the best part for Lou City in that first half, transition moments. As this ball rotates over to to Brian Nomby, Wilson Harris advances himself, but what a fantastic kick save that is from Joe Rice to make himself big and to push it wide of that post. But it's been a frustrating first half for Wilson Harris. Hasn't got the success and the service that he would have liked.
Denying him of his 10th goal of the season. Here are your first half stats brought to you by Pave Masters. More shots, a little more possession for Lou City, but Hartford has held their own through 45.
And again, when you're talking about playoffs being right around the corner, you have to manage moments. You have to be clinical in both boxes. And for Lou City, yes, you have the edge in possession, but you want to be purposeful with that possession. How clean can you be when you get to that final third? Because you're doing very good in that middle part of the field. Be more ruthless. Ask more questions of Joe Rice. And if you're Omid Namazi, defensively, you've been very good. But if you can nick one in transition moments, you're just going to make this game very interesting in the second half here.
Hartford has never beaten Louisville. 5 losses, 1 draw. In fact, they've been shut out in half of the first 6 meetings between these two sides. And maybe a sense of worry for Lou City is this is a Hartford group that has given up at least 2 goals and 18 total during a 6-match road losing streak. And Lou City has so far not been able to break down this Hartford group despite all the pressure that has been put on this Hartford group. Certainly a night for jackets, maybe a little bit of the beanie as well on a chillier night of play here in Kentucky. And these two sides coming back onto the field, just about ready to kick off this second half of play. Here's what's at stake. Hartford has been eliminated from the playoffs. They are trying to end the season with some kind of a high note, something positive to have in their back pocket. Meanwhile, Lou City is still in play for the number 4 slot and a home playoff match. But they need help from Memphis's foes the rest of the way. That is El Paso and New Mexico, the final 2 matches of the year. Hartford making a change. Prince Sadie is coming out, and they're bringing in Luke Merrill, so that's a defensive change for Sadie.
Really interesting one for Omid Namazi as well. You have to think your mind goes straight to an injury for Prince Sadie, because as that first half progressed, he started to find the rhythm, trying to find those half spaces, the ability just to create on his own. For Merrill, not an easy thing to come in at 45 minutes. How quickly can he get into the rhythm? How quickly can he get confident? And it does seem as he's going to push on that front line, but we've seen him play all over the field for Hartford Athletic.
Second half underway. Hartford with possession to start it off. Hartford coming off of a draw last week when Sadie had the brace against RGV. That was in the midweek. But they are now winless in their last 10. Harris. Can he play a bigger role here in the second half? Settle in for the second half of play. Michael Watring, Ricky Lopez-Espin, our broadcast group, bringing you the action here from Louisville. Jimenez held on to it for just a moment, and Lappert clears it away. All substitutions brought to you by Fortna. Merrill in, Sadie out. Your first change of the match coming at halftime. Harris flicks it on. Once again, sent away. Lou City held without a first half goal for the 19th time this year. Only Indy and Phoenix have scored less frequently in the opening 45 minutes than Louisville. Does that bode well for a second half surge?
You already see Hartford Athletic mid to low block every single player deep into their defensive half. So two things need to happen here for Lou City. The ball needs to move extremely quick between lines, but also on the front line movement, pulling players out of position, the understanding as one goes, one stays, dragging those two center backs into spots that they don't want to be in, especially if you're Wilson Harris. You need to make those selfless runs for secondary actions, which will be Brian Ownby.
Lou City has scored the 6th fewest goals in the league this year, but 24 of the 38 that they have scored have come in the second half. How do they find a key to unlocking that? And bad news if you are a Lou City fan for those home playoff hopes, as Memphis has taken the lead. Akeem Ward in the 31st minute has a 1-0 edge on El Paso. Into the middle, it's Harris. A little bit heavy on that touch, but he's starting to find a little bit more space and rhythm.
Nice little pick out from Manny Perez as well. As he picks his head up, he just sees the back line for Hartford Athletic. They're retreating. So where's the space? Wilson Harris just holds his run. Like you said, a bit too heavy on that initial touch. He's a bit cleaner. It's a golden opportunity to find that 10th goal in the year.
Jimenez fires to the middle of the yard. Harris joins the party. Ownby hustling. Ownby just mishits it. Really didn't have an angle for a pass there either, and Torres is fouled. And frustration setting in for Louisville. Namazi said that his aim was to change the mentality from a team that was used to losing to finding ways to win. And you have to find guys that are willing to buy into particular ways to play. No one can blame this Hartford group for being tactically flexible. He mentioned that they change on a match-to-match and even a half-to-half basis on how they play. Makes it challenging for an opponent as well to get comfortable. Jimenez, excellent pass. Ownby racing. Ownby, Brian Ownby is denied. Joe Rice steps up strong again.
You know exactly what Brian Ownby is trying to do in this situation. Ball's out.
There is no whistle. There is no stoppage. It ends up working out okay.
Brian Ownby just understands when to break with the pace and the verticality that he runs with. Elects to go up and over, but Joe Rice does so well not to go down early whatsoever, to make himself big. But so many times we see players get themselves into that position. The goalkeeper goes down, very cheeky in the attempt. Once again, Joe Rice, he's been massive between the sticks for Hartford Athletic.
He has certainly had to answer more questions than Oliver Semla has. Ellison can't bring that one down. It's intercepted. Sent out of play. And a throw in here for Hartford.
It'd be very interesting to see for Danny Cruz how quickly he dips into this bench if the result stays the same around the 65th, 70-minute mark. Just want to inject a little bit more quality or energy, especially in that final third. You know, players that have that quality, Elijah Winder Ray Serrano, Mogul Jr., yes, he's a deep-lying midfielder. Martin Powell's as well. All Del Pico players that have come into this game and can make that difference that you're looking for.
Here's Lappert. Sharpie steps in front of Luke Merrill, and Merrill commits the foul. Fans just waiting for a moment to erupt. Danny Cruz said his eyes were on a performance tonight. Obviously wants the result, obviously wants the whole match, but paying a keen eye to how his team performs, what his team's mentality is. Jimenez, they'll bring it back because of the handball. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. Gibson along the sideline. Sent into the 18, it is flicked on. Own beat, trucks somebody, and is called for the foul. Ownby taking no prisoners, but remember, he is on a yellow card, has to be cautious.
Comes in as really rash initially, and then no question whatsoever. Just football tackles Luke Merrill on the back end of it. Just put so much pressure on opposing back lines, Brian Ownby, because he can hurt you in so many different ways. Very comfortable beating you 1v1, popping in the hole, but we've seen doesn't need a second invitation just to be in behind and just be that vertical threat, that direct threat that teams are so scared of.
Pressure forcing this ball to the sideline and out. New City to get a throw in. Harris. Ownby just out of the range of a teammate, and a foul now given. A dangerous free kick coming up here for Lou City.
Just talked about Brian Ownby, the ability just to play in that half pocket. But if you're Lappert there, there's no need to lunge into it. Yes, it's maybe a tad bit soft. You just move your feet, you make Brian Ownby play negative, your job is done. But as you lunge in, Brian Ownby is so clever, he makes the most of it. And you're looking at a very dangerous set piece here for Lou City as Niall McCabe and Oscar Jimenez stand over this thing. Nice little distance to go up and over the wall underneath the crossbar.
It's a third free kick. McCabe can't get it over the wall. Wanted a second shot at it. And Hartford with the response. And now countering. Danny Cruz was concerned about the pace that Hartford had on counters. Lou City passes that test. And then some by winning possession.
That part of the field on a set piece. Personally, I would like a left-footed player to strike that ball, because if you get by that wall, the ball's bending away from the goalkeeper. It's such a difficult technique for Niall McCabe to try to get the outside corner, that left shoulder area, the outside of the wall, to get it to bend into that top corner. Those little things make a massive difference of just who feels more comfortable the way they strike the ball. It'd be a bit frustrated if you're Niall McCabe not to break that initial line of the wall.
Oliver Semla comes out, uses his head to clear it away. A rookie record with 12 clean sheets this year. Here's Lappert. Curling it around, Semla, odd angle, and that leads to Amo taking a chance. He had an empty net and just missed.
Like I mentioned in the first half, balls being whipped into a dangerous area caused a lot of concern for Lou City. No one makes this initial action on the ball, whether it's Wes Sharpie, whether it's Sean Tosh. And Oliver Semla gets caught in no man's land once again. You never want to let the ball bounce, especially in your own 6-yard box. And Elvis Amo, you know he should do better with that. It should be 1-0 Hartford Athletic. And it's the second time at that back post that's been very shaky for Lou City. Elvis Amo is asking a lot of questions. That's a great ball.
And it's brought down by Tellefson. Tellefson cutting. Tellefson! Ripples the rope. Lou City in transition. Take a 1-0 lead.
You don't capitalize on one side of the field. Now McCabe, he'll pull the strings on the other side. It's all about composure, using the momentum of Kibato against him. Least preferred left foot, no problem whatsoever. Hips around the bow, bends it into that far post. Kiss of death against that post. Off to the corner to celebrate. What a terrific individual goal for Tellefson. Exactly what Danny Cruz would like. Someone to produce, someone to stand up and have that bit of quality that's been lacking. Rasmus Tellefson gets Lou City here on the board in the lead at home.
That goal is presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. Kentucky Lottery. Tellefson with his first goal in the United States. Scored 16 goals in Denmark. It's his first since May of 2022. When he was playing in Denmark. And how about that drastic change? And that is exactly what Hartford has gone through so many times this year. Perhaps a moment of hope at one end, a chance to bag a goal, and within the span of 5 touches, you're down by a goal.
When you talk about the team sitting at the top of USL tables, whether it's the Eastern Conference or Western Conference, you're talking about managing moments a lot better. The margin of error is just so thin. Elvis Amo will be the first to tell you he should be finding the back of the net. You don't capitalize, you're not clinical, you're not ruthless enough. You give Niall McCabe that time and space. He's shown you throughout his career in Lou City the ability just to hit a ball over 50, 60 yards. And someone that Danny Cruz is always asked to produce a tiny bit more in the attacking third. Does all the dirty work midfield. The quality is there whatsoever, but how do you get more goals? How do you get more assists? What a terrific goal that is for Rasmus Tellefson.
Exactly what Lou City needed. How does that perhaps open some floodgates? That's exactly what Danny Cruz talked about. Once you score against Hartford, things can get stretched, things can get open against the Athletic. '61st minute. Lou City just taking the lead on Rasmus Tellefson's first United States goal. 1-0 Lou City on top, trying to play for a home match in the USL Championship playoffs. With Ricky Lopez Espen, I'm Michael Watrang. Great to have you on board. Gibson funnels wide. Perez in space, cuts it back, shifts, and makes it a corner kick coming. Presented by Wi-Fi. New City will get another corner kick here. This will be the fourth.
Be very interesting now this next 10 to 15 minutes for Lou City. Just see what that goal does for them in terms of their confidence to get more players higher up the field in more dangerous areas. And like you said, Danny Cruz was quick to mention, once Hartford Athletic, they concede, they start to open up because they have to chase the game just a tiny bit more. They get stretched. So there's going to be opportunities here for Lou City to get that second goal.
Changing the form of attack here. And firing this ball all the way back post, own beat. Swinging shot attempt that will end up in the first row of the seats. Louisville don't miss any of the action at Lynn Family Stadium in 2024 by becoming a season ticket member for both Lou City and Racing Louisville FC. Along with exclusive membership benefits, you will save 10% off your season ticket price and enjoy the rest of the 2023 season for free. Tickets are available at loucity.com/tickets. Louisville, a 3-2 comeback win last night. Keeping the playoff hopes still alive in a hotly contested NWSL. Lou City has clinched a playoff berth already. Here's a cross in. No second chance for Hartford. Tellefson. Harris was trying to make the turn, but McGlynn steps up and intercepts, and then a foul's committed to set up a free kick here for Hartford. Yet again, second half goals. Now 25 second half goals for Lou City this year. They've had 7 scored from subs. As long as their defense holds up in the first half. So often this season, that second half has been the difference maker. Gila. It's a dangerous pass. You can see Joe Rice out of his cage. Fortunate to have that work out. Tellefson, the goal scorer, back on it. Cruz admitting that goal scoring has been at a higher rate of late. For a team that was winning a lot of matches 1-0 early. The question for the boys in purple the rest of the year is, can they get the right formula, the right mixture of both attacking and defending? The USL is celebrating Hispanic Latino Heritage Month with stories, events, and more. Bringing to life this special celebration across the league. Go to uslsoccer.com/Hispanic-heritage to learn more. Jimenez gives it back to where it came from in Harris. Now overlapping. Ownby through the middle. Punched! But high. Maris was in a dangerous spot and couldn't keep it down.
We've talked about the outside backs getting into that final third. But as Wilson Harris just lets his play develop, it's all about the run from Oscar Jimenez. He continues from the outside back position as he pulls out McGlynn. That opens up this hole for the cutback. here from Dylan Maris, but as he just doesn't have the ability to get his feet underneath him, you see it go up and over the crossbar. But it's those selfless runs that I was talking about. Oscar Jimenez, he knows he's not going to get this ball, but what does he do? He opens up that secondary hole for a run. Dylan Maris is going to want this one back, but good passage of play here from Lou City.
2 Fortuna subs. It is Antoine Opino and Ashkanov Apollon coming in. They replace Lappert and Edwards. Pressure again. And that ball goes through the middle. Opino back. Spent 4 years with Lou City. How can he play a difference in this match? Now getting the right flank with Edwards off. So 2 of those top 3 goal scorers for Hartford now sit on the bench.
Really can be an X factor, Antoine Opino, for this Hartford Athletic side. 3 goals, 3 assists on the season. But if you get him confident, you get him in rhythm, he can be a massive X factor. Ability just to create on his own, but also to bring players in. Very slippery, very comfortable on the ball. And Apollon likes to be very vertical on that far side. So good attacking minded changes here for Omid Namazi and Hartford Athletic.
Is 1 goal enough tonight? Perez keeps it in play. It was a fortuitous clearance initially, and then the swinging left-footed shot ends up in the bleachers.
Just see how out of shape now Hartford Athletic in that back line is. As McGlynn is stepping, Kibato keeps Manny Perez onside. Just not on the same page. Never stepping in unison, never dropping in unison, and that's exactly what Danny Cruz mentioned to us. We get that opening goal, there's going to be options to find that second goal.
Memphis has added a second right before halftime. In the 3rd minute of stoppage time, Lucas Terci scoring against El Paso, and it's 2-0 now Memphis. And the final home playoff position may very well come down to the final week of the regular season. That ball stays in play. McCabe glides past one. Harris slithers. Taken down. Was it outside of the box? A big entanglement, and then Harris is called for the foul.
As Wilson Harris just tries to cut this ball back. Luke Merrill does very well in his recovery run. See the frustration from Wilson Harris. I think if he does not see yellow here, he's a very lucky man.
And
he's a lucky
he
man.
will not, yeah. He will not. Very lucky. Update as well from Tampa. Pittsburgh have added a second. Arturo Ozuna has added a goal. And it is now 2-0 Riverhounds as they try to seal up the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Arrow goes down. Should be a foul whistled. Indeed there is. And this time to the pocket. And Wes Sharpie is going to go in the books.
Really good first touch here from Luke Merrill. Right in front of him, breaks Wes Sharpie's run. It is a bit heavy, but clear yellow card. Yes, you see McCabe pointing at the scoreboard saying the touch is away from him, but it makes no difference. He's beat. It was exactly that he's beat, and he just takes him out. Transition moment, sees you, a yellow card. A really good first touch.
Both defensive sides have been challenged in transition. Remember, Lou City scored on Tellefson in the 58th minute, moments after Amo had a chance in the box. And right off of the restart, a goal. Now it is Barrera and Lewis And it is Barrera firing it in. Harris rises. Torres recycles. Akingila. Barrera has options here. This time it is Tosh. Ownby sends it away. And he actually gets to his second ball after the bounce. That's great hustle, and that's exactly the determination that Danny Cruz has been looking for. Two more Fortuna subs for Lou City. Elijah Winder and Carlos Mogul Jr. are coming on. Maris and McCabe. See their shifts come to an end.
Anaya McCabe was terrific here tonight. 73 minutes in, dictating tempo. Such an important piece of what Danny Cruz likes to do on both sides of the ball. General in the middle of the field. Now Carlos Mogul Jr., a player that also has a technical ability to unlock opposing back lines. Very technically sound. Elijah Winder. We get him higher up the field. The relationship between Brian Ownby, Tellefson, and Harris needs to be very good and very spot on, because he finds himself into very advanced positions. We want to see that end product just a tiny bit more from the young Elijah Winder.
Louisville 2023 ticket packages are available now. Lou City's next home match is Saturday, October 14th at 7:30 p.m. Bring your family and friends to Lynn Family Stadium when the boys in purple face Tampa Bay Rowdies. Tickets are available at loucity.com/tickets. That ball fired in. Harris denied. Rice keeps it at a 1-goal differential. Now Harris called for the foul.
Good pick out here from Tellefson to let this run from Manny Perez create his own space. But it's just not confident enough here from Wilson Harris. Hits it with his knee. Just misjudges the flight of the ball. You expect him, with how confident he's been and how clinical he's been since he's put on a Lou City jersey, to find the back of the net from that distance.
Lou City eyeing a second. Trying to make this a little bit less of a knee knocker down the stretch. 75th minute. Lou City leading at 1-0 on a Rasmus Tellefson goal in the 58th minute. Michael Watrang, Ricky Lopez, Espen, our broadcast group, inviting you to lock in for the finish line of this in front of just shy of 10,000 fans here tonight. Lou City in their penultimate regular season match of the year, leading at 1-0, trying to keep pace with Memphis for that final home playoff position, and things could very well come down the next week when Memphis visits New Mexico and Lou City hosts Tampa. Tampa likely will not be playing for anything. They will be the number 2 seed if the result holds, as they trail 2-0. Here's Opino through the middle. Amo sends it back. Merrill, one touch. Merrill has leveled the terms. The halftime substitute with a strong strike beats Semla, and it's 1-1.
Talk about how attack-minded the subs were from Omid Namazi. You bring in Antoine Opino, you bring in Luke Merrill. The versatility, a different look, both combining. But it's all about decision-making here from Antoine Opino, because he pulls out Wes Sharpie and he just whips this ball into a dangerous area. But I thought this ball from Amo, the angle was closed down, as Luke Merrill does not hit it first time, but does extremely well to find a nice little window between the legs. There's nothing that Oliver Zemla can do. Straight between Sean Tosh. No one steps up. No one closes down the space. Terrific strike from the sub, and he draws this thing even 1-1.
First professional goal for Merrill. Played collegiately in the Division II Westminster. when he scored in the final game of his collegiate career at Colorado State Pueblo. And just like that, an answer from Hartford, and Lou City back chasing the game now, trying to get the full complement of points against a Hartford team they've never lost to.
But it's just a simple breakdown for Lou City.
Is there a quick answer in mind? Black jerseys flooding the 18, but Hartford calmly able to get this one away.
Because yes, you want to be attack-minded as your outside backs, but you have to understand, as Oscar Jimenez challenges for that initial ball, Wes Sharpe needs to understand and rotate a lot quicker. He gets pulled out, and there needs to be a trickle-down effect. Sean Tosh needs to shift over. Manny Perez needs to shift over. Tyler Gibson needs to drop off, and none of that happens. Give credit to Luke Marin, like I mentioned, because so many times when that ball's popped out, you have to hit it first time. Clean first touch, composes himself, and finds a nice little window. There's no chance for Ala Resembla on the back end of it. Really well-worked goal from Hartford Athletic.
Fans head to Twitter to vote on tonight's Lynn Family Sports and Vision and Training Man of the Match poll will be open for the next 10 minutes. Vote now at twitter.com/Lou City. Ownby wins a corner out of this. Troubling trend now for Lou City. Just one clean sheet in their last 10. And after giving up just an average of 1 goal per match in their first 23, they're now allowing almost 2 per match in their last 10. Corner kick coming, 78th minute. Lou City looking to regain the edge. Corner kick coming. Boomeranged in. Back post, Ownby sends it. Winder has it shut down by Makingila. And away. Tellefson goes down. No foul there. It goes out. And it is a throw. And this has been the moment of the match that Hartford have really struggled. They've given up 16 goals from the 81st minute on. And this has been really a better performance on the road. If you just took the road goals that Hartford has allowed this year, they would have given up the 15th most in the league for the entire season. But so far, just one tonight from Lou City, and conceding to Merrill in the 75th. 10 minutes or so plus stoppage time left. Gibson. City preparing 2 more changes. And with the player down, we'll get a quick stoppage here. Hartford have subbed off their top 2 goal scorers this season. Sadie came out at halftime. Looks like that's Andre Lewis and is injured. Ownby giving some instructions to his teammates. Now Antoine Opino trying to get in there. That's a veteran move. He's been in so many of these conversations in his career on this field. Andre Lewis indeed will be coming to the sideline. And the change will be made here for Hartford. They will bring on Dren Nebruna, the 19-year-old from Waterbury, Connecticut. And Louisville will bring in Ray Serrano and Martin Powles. They replace Wilson Harris and Tyler Gibson.
We'll start with Hartford Athletic. I thought Andre Lewis was very good at filling in the gaps, working extremely hard on the defensive side of the ball. Frustrating, not letting any sort of rhythm to be had for Lou City in the center of the park. But as for Lou City, now you have a different look for Martin Powles on the top line. He's going to be the focal point. He's going to want to stay with his back towards the goal, so the movement underneath him and the runs beyond him need to be very good for the remainder of this match. And Ray Serrano, he's going to push up a bit higher. Mogo Jr. is going to drop in a tiny bit. So you have the two attacking midfielders, Elijah Winder, Ray Serrano, Tellefson, and Brian Ownby, accompanying by Martin Powles, spearheading the attack for Lou City to see this game out.
Memphis continuing to lead El Paso 2-0. That is the match that Lou City has in their sights, trying to keep pace for the number 4 slot in the East. Serrano's pass gets intercepted. Now a long whistling ball for Opano. Has the gas in the tank to beat Sharpie to it. Opano lays it back for the goal scorer Merrill. Torres. Makangila. Opano keeps it in play. Unable to continue on his run, however, and Sharpie will send it back towards the middle of the yard. Hartford, though, winning these second balls. Opano takes a tumble and draws the foul.
Really clever here from Antoine Opano. Makes the most of it for sure. And he goes down because he knows he's going to force the issue of Ben Meyer here. Comes over the top. Oscar Jimenez just catches the right foot of Antoine Opano. We'll take a look here. The follow through and catches him. He goes down and wins a very dangerous set piece as he stands over. And Danny Barrera, you're aiming for right between that 6-yard box and penalty mark here.
Barrera eyeing that location. This time Semla comes out to save it. And we now wind into the 85th minute. Hartford have dropped 13 points this year to goals conceded in the 85th minute or later. Is that a sign for Louisville to step in, step out, and get a game winner? Or is it Hartford that pulls off the comeback? Hartford this year, 17 losses out of 19 times this season when they've conceded first. But perhaps changing that tonight. Time still on the clock, however. Winder. Jimenez couldn't hold it up. Winder probably could have taken a foul there. And now that ball played through the middle. Serrano nearly had it. Still has a chance of taking it. Makangila very nonchalant. It works out.
Good challenge.
Powles comes back to help out Perez. Ownby hustling. Patient. Ownby flicking. And Rice eventually has it handled.
And he does the hard part here, Brian Ownby. But as he cuts this ball back and sends McGlynn down to the feet, just play a simple ball to Ray Serrano. He's just asking for a better angle, your least preferred left foot. Good action for Lou City that deserves a better end product. Like you said, very casual from Makangila in the back. Trying to take on 3 Lou City players. Something, if you're Naomi Namazi, you don't want to see happen once again.
Here's Elijah Winder. He takes a tumble. Barrera ill-advised with the challenge. It's quickly taken on the restart. Powell's circling. Still circling. Powell's nearly found a bottom corner. And it ends up in a corner kick.
Twisting and turning, looking for the right spot where he wants to go as he makes two Hartford Athletic players go for a dance. Nice little window. Gets his hips around a big time save once again from Joe Rice to pair it away.
Oscar Jimenez ready to take this Wi-Fi corner. Twists it around the back line. Headed away from trouble initially. Serrano back on it. Serrano splitting defenders. It's Jimenez once more. Tellefson waited. Amo sends it away. Winder shooting from distance, and Rice gobbles that one up. Tonight's Lynn Family Sports Vision and Training Man of the Match is the goal scorer for Lou City, Rasmus Tellefson. Niall McCabe, great long ball, and Tellefson finishing.
Fantastic first touch. He knows exactly where he wants to get on the field. Uses Cabalto's momentum against him, and it's all about composure. Watch the hips as they close at the last second. That enables it to bend back into that far post. Terrific goal from Tellefson.
Work to be done here in this match. Lou City took a 1-0 lead in the 58th minute on that Tellefson goal. They conceded in the 75th. Luke Merrill nutmegging Tosh with a shot, and Semla diving to his right, just unable to get there in time. Lou City leads it 20-8 in shots, 7-3 in shots on target. But Hartford have hung around. Makangila asking, is it a throw or is it a kick? A lot of time coming off of the clock. And that appears as if Ben Meyer is going to say that's the last time that I'm going to allow any kind of time wasting without a booking. Flag up here for offside. Lou City would need a late stunner. They have one of those already this year. Oscar Jimenez scored in the 8th minute of added time against Oakland, a game winner. That was on August 26th. Long ball sent forward. Ownby allows Serrano to take it. But patience defensively allows Kibato to send it away. Ownby providing some resistance. Winder leaves for Serrano. And then a foul is whistled against Serrano. He was inches away from winning a corner kick.
Touch just gets away from him just a tiny bit. But give credit to Pablo Torres. Recovery run, the ability to close down space and to pick the pocket of Ray Serrano. The times it to perfection and takes the contact on the back end of it. He's been an unsung hero for Hartford Athletic here today. Him and Andre Lewis put in a hell of a shift here, 90 minutes.
Hartford have allowed 7 goals in the 90th minute or later, including 5 in stoppage time. And we have 6 minutes of stoppage time presented by Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Serrano pings that one out of play. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. Free to play, download now. Rice has patience to get to this one. Rice with 6 saves this evening. Has been helped out by a post as well. Tellefson climbing, cannot get there. Merrill, who has the equalizer in this one. So many times it has been Hartford giving up a lead. Powell's gliding past one. Can't get past a second. Winder though. Powell's again, circling. Excellent cutback. A second chance. Doesn't get a lot on it. Tumbles to the surface. And it's sent away.
They're just trying to do too much in the end. Powell's does the hard part, cuts his defender. The ball needs to be played across the face of the goal.
Powell's doesn't reach up to get that one. Pressure amplifying. And then it just goes by the wayside. Hartford have given up 25 points from winning positions this year, the most in the league. Do they flip the script here tonight? Oscar Jimenez is coming out, and Paulo Del Piccolo is coming in. Fortin a substitute for Lou City, trying to find that final ingredient with about 3+ minutes or so of stoppage time left. Tellefson goes back wide right. Now on the right-hand side, evading one player. Perez evades a second. Perez through the middle. Winder! Rice fires it away, and it's a corner. And Rice can't believe it. Check that. It did not hit Rice. It's a goal kick.
We've seen Manny Perez's decision making in the final third has been spot on. Comfortable on the ball, very decisive when he picks and chooses once he goes forward. And as his back line of Hartford Athletic, they're retreating towards the goal line. So it's a cutback ball into Elijah Winder. I think it does hit the post. You started to see on the back end the arguments from the Hartford Athletic players that they get their call overturned into their favor. Joe Rice picks up a yellow card.
Brought to you by World of Beer. 2+ minutes or so left. Can Lou City snatch points away and keep pace with the top 4 position in the East? Or will they need help and a win to get a home playoff match? 2 minutes or so left. Tosh glides it over Sharpie. Tellefson carved out just a fraction of room for a moment. No foul whistled there. Instead, it leads to perhaps a run out. Opino is the only man down there. Perez, though, able to get enough of a piece. That's the only way that Hartford could score is an individual play. They are sending everybody back, parking the bus. Trying to make it 2 draws in a row for a team that had lost 9 in a row prior to their draw in the midweek. Bending ball, Rice leaping. He out-duels zone beat and keeps it. The Hartford side that has its longest winless streak in 4 years. The first 10 matches of the year, also 9 losses, 1 draw.
How good has Joe Rice been? Coming off his line, extremely decisive, takes a contact as well, but making massive save after massive save. A big part of Hartford Athletic keeping this thing 1-1 as we approach the last minute.
Hartford know that they have to defend. Maybe a few more pushes here from Lou City. Merrill fires this one forward. Tosh. Is there enough time left for Lou City to get a winner? This is where it'll come from. Gliding through space, crossing it in. Makingila shovels it away. Ben Meyer takes a look at his watch. And there is a change happening. Matt Sheldon is coming on. And Danny Pereira is coming off. And the fact that Ben Myers allowing this change, or is he? He actually gave a yellow card to Danny Pereira on his way out. But the fact that he's allowing this change means that there is time left. Pereira shown yellow. Brought to you by World of Beer. And now Sheldon on. The 29-year-old. Here comes the throw into the 18-yard box. Powell's the initial target. It is Mogul sending it high. And there's your full-time whistle. Lou City takes the lead in the 58th minute, but Hartford is able to snatch a point away yet again from Lou City. 2 draws this year in 2 matches against Lou City. Ricky, what do you think of this matchup?
Has to be a frustrating one for Danny Cruz. The better team in terms of the football that's been played, but we talk about managing moments and especially being clinical in your own 18-yard box. That wasn't the case. Sloppy defensively, a lot to be thought about and frustrated for Danny Cruz, but for Omid Namazi and Hartford Athletic, you come into this game, you start on the defensive side. We talked about their 13 games, conceding 13 goals. You need to be a lot better defensively. That was the case, and you get a terrific goal from the subs. So if you're Omid Namazi, a lot pleaser of the 2 managers in this match.
It is a Hartford side flipping the script. They come back from a goal deficit to take at least a point for just the 3rd time in 20 tries this year. Tonight's final score brought to you by Gorski Law Office. Lou City 1, Hartford 1. We wrap it up when we come back.
Fresh produce is the best produce. That's why at Kroger, we invest in local farmers to bring you the freshest seasonal picks. So no matter how you shop, your local produce always tastes as fresh as it gets. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Boost by Kroger Plus is more than worth it.
Give it to me, I'm worth it.
With 2 times fuel points and free delivery, you can save up to $1,000 per year. Try Boost free for 30 days. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Well, they say the grass is greener there, but ours is dreamy blue. And there's no place I would rather be than Kentucky with you.
It's game time, baby. Are you ready? 'Cause I'm ready. It's game time. It's game time. It's game time. 'Cause it's game time. This is game time. Cause it's game time.
We're back before you can finish your bite to eat. It is Lou City 1 and Hartford 1. The postgame presented to you by Kentucky Office of Highway Safety. Michael and Ricky wrapping things up with you on this evening. The bad news for Hartford, they failed to win their last 11 matches. It's their longest streak in club history. The good news, it's back-to-back draws and they overcome a 1-0 deficit tonight. Time to take a look at the full-time highlights from tonight's match. 58th minute, Rasmus Tellefsen. This was just a delightful ball for McCabe, and Tellefsen did the rest.
Picture perfect from Niall McCabe. We talk about the composure, the body control from Tellefsen. He understands Kibalo has a head full of steam, so if I just cut into the interior, there's a lot of pace, and he just bends this thing like a banana to that far post. Terrific goal from Tellefsen, first on the year, first in a Lou City jersey. But you talk about Omid Namazi wanting a reaction, much like Niall McCabe. Connor McGlynn just gives you a different look from that back line. But talk about the movement from Elvis Samo. He pops off of Sean Tosh. No one closes down. Great first touch from Luke Merrill. Head down, clean as you would like, off to the corner to celebrate. Hartford tie this thing up.
Lou City slips on a banana peel this evening, despite out shooting Hartford 22-8. Luke Merrill's first career professional goal rescues a point for the Athletic, and here are your full-time statistics brought to you by Pave Masters. Hartford did not look like a team that has been at the bottom of the table all year.
And I do think that's a frustrating part for Omid Namazi, because he knows that talent is there, and he said to us on our phone call, we've played against the best teams in this league, and we've gone like for like with them. But the thing about Hartford Athletic, it's been those moments, the mental lapses, the individual mistakes that have really detrimented their season. When you look at the match stats, 22 shots for Lou City, only 8 on target. And if you're Danny Cruz, you need to get that right defensively. A lot of troubles, balls being whipped into a dangerous area. So winning your individual battles, the rotations needs to be better. And now, big test for Lou City as you welcome Tampa Bay Rowdies here on the 14th. It's all about the reaction for Danny Cruz once again.
Memphis has gone ahead 4-0 against El Paso. So Lou City will need New Mexico to do them a favor next week against Memphis and win to get a top 4 spot and a home playoff match. The final score once again, Louisville City 1 and Hartford 1. Lou City is now unbeaten in its last 6 at home, but they settle for just a point. For my partner tonight, Ricky Lopez-Espin, and our entire crew, I'm Michael Watrank saying so long. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.